Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. How is everyone doing? What is today? Wednesday, right? Happy Wednesday. Okay, you ready? Okay. It's silent for now. Is it going to start? There. Just wanted to make sure. Let me go back to where it was. I just wanted to make sure. I don't know why they take so long to turn it on. Here he goes.
Okay, red
At least
on.
he does.
Can you state your name?
Because don't forget, the one that was with Josie, the other girl that was over there during the 911 call, during the whole thing, Blaker interviewed her and they didn't turn on the freaking microphone in the room. So the video's out there. Connor has it, Connor has it. I don't think he's posted it yet. BadMomBree had it, and I shared it when I saw it on her page. There's no sound, the whole thing. So it's completely pointless.
For me? Okay, let me check it spelling correctly. Okay. Okay, so first name, correct?
Yep.
What's your middle? What's your date of birth?
It's okay. These are adults. But her year of birth is okay.
Okay, you have, that's your phone right there, right? Real quick, before we get into that, what's your relationship to the victims?
Xana is my best friend.
Okay.
Ethan is her boyfriend, who's also one of my best friends. And Maddie Mogen and Kaylee are great friends to all of us too, because they live with them.
Okay. Are you were they all in a sorority?
Yeah, we were all. Me and Xana are not anymore.
Okay. What about Ethan?
And Mogen's not in it anymore.
Okay.
Ethan is.
Yeah, guys, this is Brett Payne. This is the same room that he was interviewing Jack Ducour in. According to the timestamps, it looks like this interview would have been right before he interviewed Jack. Because this is 1350, so this is what, like 150? Maybe. I feel like this is like right before Jack. I'm gonna have to go back and check.
Is in, along with his brother who's here. And his sister.
I'll give you some tissues if you need them, okay? You sure? Okay. Let me know if you need something, all right? Again, this is not, just, if you need a minute, take a minute, okay? Okay, so at the end of all this, we're going to seize your phone as evidence, okay? Just understand that this is a procedure for us, okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're looking at you or anything like that. It's just this really helps us kind of narrow it down, okay? So is that an iPhone?
Yes.
What model is it?
I think it's the 11.
You can take all this.
It should be. Yeah, I think it's 11.
Okay. Does it have a passcode on it?
It does.
What's your passcode? Okay, so your social media, what kind of social media do you have?
Yeah, she does sound like she's pretty upset. I mean, I don't think that Emily is hiding anything. I just feel like she's really naive to the lies that she's been told. Like, I feel like she's protecting people that don't need to be protected. That's just my opinion. I've never felt like anything either way. I just feel like you shouldn't be just standing in for her. She's a grown-ass adult that's been lying to you for 3 years now. But then again, I also kind of wonder how much of a lie was it to Emily, because if she does say some of the stuff that you guys are saying that she's going to say, then she knew more than let on.
So why don't we just kind of start with yesterday? Did you go to the football game or anything?
I was at the game working.
Okay. Why don't you start with kind of about the time you left the football game, like got everything wrapped up, just best as you can recall, just kind of walk me through the rest of your evening, okay?
After the football, well, I got to leave early. I left probably 5 minutes after halftime. And I walked home from the dome. I went and said hello to all of my other friends in a different apartment, right next to where I live.
Where do you live? Gotcha.
And I was there for maybe an hour or two.
Okay.
And I went home, and it was about 8:30, and
So when did you get to your apartment?
8:30 p.m.
8:30.
Well, after visiting my friends.
Yeah, so you went and saw your friends, and then you got to your apartment about 8:30.
And none of them were there.
Okay.
It's about 8:30, and who are all here. And there's two here.
Johnson.
We all slept. We all went to bed at like super early at 8:30.
Now that tracks. We've heard that, because the way that we have been told it anyway, and this I don't really know exactly how much truth we can keep to it, because we're also getting conflicting stories about Ethan and Hunter going back to Sigma Chi and Xana already being there. But then Bethany's interview, she said that Ethan walked them over there. So I don't know how much like we can concrete. Oh god dang, I just lost my whole train of thought right there. I'm so ADHD, it's not even funny. Let me backtrack for like a second. Maybe it'll come back to me. And of course it's quiet.
Who are all here.
Oh, okay, yes. So what we were told is that Hunter Johnson and Ethan were texting each other, and then Ethan was trying to get Hunter to come out to the Sigma Chi party, but that Emily was asleep and he didn't want to leave with Emily asleep. So depending on what time she woke up would depend on if Hunter went with Ethan, is how we've been told it.
There's two here.
Johnson.
We all slept. We all went to bed at like super early at 8:30.
Yeah.
We were gonna go to the lodge party, but we just didn't go.
To what party?
There was a lodge party. We didn't make it there. I know that this morning I saw Snapchats of Xana and them there, so I know that they were there.
Okay, so there are Snapchats of Xana being at the party. Why haven't we been able to see those? Because if they know at this point that those exist, it would take that for them to be able to make sure that that stuff didn't get erased. So why haven't we been able to see those? Why has nobody shown us anything from any of this? I don't know why it would have just been instantly just snatched off of everybody's social media everywhere. It's just really annoying.
Can you kind of tell me what is a lodge party?
A lodge party is it's just like they host and they have.
I just got the peach one and I'm going to try it. The 4-packs of these are like 30% off with a coupon at Kroger. And then the single ones are buy one, get one free. So, you know, I had to add them to my groceries this week. I just had to.
Their house is all apartment styles. And then there's a big center and that's just their lodge. So they just have people come over to the lodge. Pretty much. That's it.
It's just a party.
It's just.
Okay. No special significance to it.
No.
Me too. I want to know what Xana was wearing, because we've seen her in the all black outfit in the infamous photo of everybody. And then she was found in her undies in just a long sleeve gray sweater. So I would really like to know if she changed her clothes before she went to Sigma Chi. Like, what was that about? Because especially the text messages between Dylan and Bethany, it gets brought up that Xana was wearing all black. So yeah, I would really like to know if it changed or if it stayed the same.
Okay. So you guys slept. What time did you wake up?
I know, girl. And whenever we were kids, they weren't that expensive. I mean, they act like this is like, what's that rich people water? What is it, Pierre or whatever crap? They act like it's that. I don't know why, but I know. I only buy it when it's on sale.
1:30 a.m.
Okay.
So many of you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that stuff.
We woke up at 1:30 a.m. We stayed up at our own apartment, just doing nothing. We were watching TV probably till like 3, and then just woke up, and we all hung out for another hour, and then we all went back to bed.
So what we also heard in this section was that around 3:30ish, Josie realized that she left her phone outside in somebody's vehicle. I don't know whose vehicle. I don't know if she has a car. I honestly don't know all that stuff about them. But she left her phone in a vehicle outside. So she went outside, got the vehicle, and got her phone. And after Josie goes back in with her phone, Hunter locks the door. And this is where we sort of hear the whole like, he never locks the door, and for some reason he locked the door, and I noticed it, and he was just like, I just have a feeling. That's where that whole thing came from. So let's see if she mentions Josie going outside and the whole door lock thing. Multiple people noticed a laugh. Okay, let me go back.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
We stayed up at our own apartment, just doing nothing. We were watching TV probably till like 3, and then just woke up, and we all hung out for another hour, and then we all went back to bed.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I tried to look at this video on your channel earlier, and it showed me it was gone. I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, we didn't know that part either, that Hunter ended up leaving his phone at King Road for like hours, and that a bunch of pictures were apparently taken on it. And then this part about Josie's phone. Yeah, several different instances. Thank you for the 10, Chastity. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Nothing out of the ordinary between that time you guys are awake?
No.
Nothing at all? No phone calls, text messages, nothing like that?
Huh.
Okay. So after you guys went back to bed, what time did you wake up?
This morning?
Yeah.
You're good.
10:30 a.m. probably, around that.
Let me see if it'll let me. Oh, yep. Okay, there's the closed captions. So let's see if it helps. Well, my face is in the way. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Resituate. Resituate. Okay.
That time.
Okay. Okay. What did you guys do the rest of the morning after you?
So, called me. I can't recall the time. I could look.
Okay.
You want me to look?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Called me at 11:51.
Okay.
Okay.
And said, he is my little, so she called and said that.
Wait, she did say, did she say Dylan's name or did they like block it out? I was reading the thingy. Let me go back a second.
And we all hung out for another hour, and then we all went back to bed.
Nothing out of the ordinary between that time you guys are awake?
No.
Nothing at all? No phone calls, text messages, nothing like that?
Huh.
Okay.
I don't remember off the top of my head. Not that it's not out there. He might have said it in an interview. It might be in the book. But I do not recall. 3 months, Brooke. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much.
So after you guys went back to bed, what time did you wake up?
This morning?
Yeah.
10:30 a.m.
10:30.
probably, around that time.
Okay. See, and it's also interesting to me that she was up at 10:30. Dylan didn't like do anything to contact anybody until 10:51 when it came to calling somebody over, because we know Dylan was awake the whole time. And we know that around 10:30 is the time that the state tried to pretend was the time that she started like waking up and wondering like why nobody else was awake yet. But in reality, she was up all night. So that's interesting that even with this, Dylan still took forever to call out to anybody. Okay.
Okay. What you gonna do the rest of the morning after you?
Thank you, Bri. Congratulations to whoever gets the membership. Congratulations.
So, called me.
Yeah, they blocked it out. Okay.
I can't recall the time I could look.
Okay.
You want me to look?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Called me at 11:51.
Okay.
And said, C is my little, so she called and said that last night around 4 a.m. she heard and saw.
No, I'm not going to kick him out. I saw the comment, but so what if somebody pled to something? That's no reason not to go over information. Yeah, we know that he pled. We covered it. This person is also saying that we're wasting our time going over this while they're sitting here in this chat and had to subscribe in order to do so. I let clowns just be clowns. So just let them be a clown. They'll eventually shoe fly. Ignore.
A man, and she and
let's go back to the important parts.
What you gonna do the rest of the morning after you?
So called me. I can't recall the time I could look.
Okay.
You want me to look?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Welcome.
Called me at 11:51.
It's a Greek thing. It's sort of like a little sister in the Greek community. They take him under their wing and help him out.
Okay.
And said, C is my little, so she called and said that last night around 4 a.m. she heard and saw a man, and she and were locked in their room sleeping, and they woke up and she wanted me to come over and check the house because she was too scared.
So her, you said, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We're locked in the room.
And I was like, okay, I'll come over.
Right. That was 11:51. You said,
Yes.
okay. So they saw and heard a man. Did they?
They saw a man last night around 4 a.m. She saw Kaylee scream and go up the stairs.
See, okay, so I did see y'all's comment saying she saw Kaylee scream and go up the stairs. I've questioned this. I've questioned if she actually did put eyes on Kaylee or whoever was on the stairs since the very beginning of this 3 freaking years ago. Because what did we hear? One of the original things that we heard before everything started getting shut down was that she opened her door and yelled, "Shut the F up," several times because of apparently how loud things were. You have to also remember we were hearing, again, the rumors that there was karaoke and singing, that all of that music stuff, that all ended up coming true. And very recently so is when we found that out. Then we also have to think back of the rumors of, oh, they heard rummaging upstairs. And maybe, but you also have to think about how there's like broken furniture in Bethany's room and blood on the bottom floor that we're supposed to not know about, So there's noises and rumors from the very beginning that are starting to make more sense now. So if she really does mean that at some point Dylan did open the door and see Kaylee and see Kaylee actually yelling and screaming and not just hearing her, it honestly wouldn't surprise me, especially considering all of the questions that we have for the situation. For her to sit there and be like, "Oh, I saw Kaylee scream," she could be working around that situation to put herself in the position to have seen certain things, but then know what she has to do in order to like protect herself, if that makes any sense. I just know that this is like part of the stuff that we heard in 3 years ago.
And
oh, I saw something else. 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, BadMomBree. I appreciate that. Thank you.
This is So she saw a man and then heard Kaylee scream?
Kaylee scream and run up the stairs, because she lives upstairs, Kaylee does.
And run upstairs. Okay.
Ran into and locked themselves in it. And then, she was screaming their names, and
Okay, that's what y'all were talking about right there. Yep. So, but is she saying that Dylan was screaming Kaylee's names and like everybody else's names? Because we did hear that recently too, that Dylan was calling out for Kaylee, calling out for Xana, calling out for Maddie, calling out for them. So let's backtrack and see if we can listen to the context and see if she means that Kaylee was screaming Dylan and everyone else's names, or if Dylan was screaming everyone's names.
So she saw a man and then heard Kaylee scream?
Kaylee scream and run up the stairs, because she lives upstairs, Kaylee does.
And run upstairs. Okay.
Ran into and locked themselves in it. And then, she was screaming their names, and she didn't hear anything, so a while later she came back out to check, and I guess the man was standing right there staring at her.
So her story is that Dylan was already down in Bethany's room. And then I'm not going to fault the way that this is all like flip-flopped, because she probably has like a lot going on in her head right now. So I'm not going to read anything into the fact that there's like some misconstrued stuff right here. I really can't, honestly. Like, I just can't. So let's just listen.
Okay, so let me kind of just back up just a hair here, okay? So she said that she saw Kaylee run upstairs and then Kaylee was screaming for...
No, it's just screaming.
Just screaming?
Screaming that she said that there's a man here, someone in the house.
Okay, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And this is all right around 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go ahead.
And she opened the door a while later to check, and I guess the man was staring at her, and she didn't know what to do, and the man didn't do anything to her, and so she went back into the room, and she heard the side back door close, so she thought that they were gone, so they went to sleep.
I'm sorry? She heard the slider close, but we're supposed to believe that it was left open. See, that's something I can question, because it's not like, oh, they were downstairs and then she saw the guy. No, this is an actual new detail that somebody would have had to have said to her. So you're sitting here telling me that you were told that they heard that sliding door shut, but then it was open the next morning and footprints were outside, and that's where the cops started going with their narrative. But now we're hearing that they said that the damn thing shut. It's not just how did the dog get out. That's a big question too. But a lot of people that were questioning Dylan or Bethany letting him back in, and the cover up and the bullshit as, oh, well, if the person left the sliding door wide open, then the dog got back inside that way. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I can be fair and give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give the door was left open and the dog slid back inside. I get it. Cool. I'll let you have it. But if the chick is going to sit here and tell her people that they heard the door close and that was her cue to run downstairs or whatever, because I'm about to go back, we're about to listen again, then why was the door back open again if they heard it close? Unless they're the ones who opened it and staged the entire scene. Oh my God. This is annoying. I hate everything. Okay, let's continue.
Out to check. I guess the man was standing right there staring at her.
And let's also remember that whenever you look right out of Dylan's door into the kitchen, you cannot see the slider. You have to walk out of her door towards the little closet underneath the steps before you really start to actually be able to see the slider, because directly in front of her bedroom is the kitchen sink, and then it's the stove and then the slider, and then the way that the slider opens is even more off to the side. So she would have had to have not been right there in the threshold or not peeking out of her door. She would have had to have actually like walked out of her door and walked out of her room. So let's remember that.
Okay, so let me kind of just back up just a hair here, okay? So she said that she saw Kaylee run upstairs and then Kaylee was screaming for...
No, it was just screaming.
Just screaming?
Screaming that she said that there's a man here, there's someone in the house.
Okay, that kind of stuff. This is all right around 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go ahead.
And she opened the door a while later to check, and I guess the man was staring at her, and she didn't know what to do, and the man didn't do anything to her, and she went back into the room, and she heard the side back door close, so she thought that they were gone, so they went to sleep.
Okay.
And called me in the morning to come check out the house.
You hear him just writing.
Said that it was the side door she heard open? Like
It's on the...
That's what I thought she
second
said.
floor.
Let's go back again. Look, because I'm telling you, the message is that Steve Goncalves apparently saw that he had told Brett Norton about says, it sounds like they're killing them. Between Dylan and Bethany talking about what they're hearing. It's always been plural. It's been plural with the police, too, when it came to looking for SV1. They wanted to speak to the individuals, the people inside the car. They never really presented it ever like it was just one person. That's been from 3 years ago.
Said that it was the side door she heard open? Like
it's on the second floor. It's in the kitchen. It's a sliding door out the back.
Okay. Then they just went back to bed.
As a matter of fact, Dylan never went to sleep. Not that she stayed up all night, but she specifically told the officer that she was trying to go to bed. She was never asleep. She, again, added a contact to her phone at 3:51 in the morning, merely minutes before their timeline of this going down. She was never, ever asleep. $50 for the FOIAs. Thank you very much, Miss Lady Vale. I will add that to the docket. Thank you so much.
Did you say why she didn't think to call
the docket, the ledger? Thank you.
Anybody when it was going on?
I didn't ask her that, but I was just talking to her, and I was like, well, do you know what he looked blah, blah, all this stuff, and she said that she almost didn't, want to believe it, because she said, A, I was a little drunk, B, I didn't think anything of it, because your brain just doesn't make sense of that, because why would it?
Right.
And then I was like, well, do you know, she said that he had some mask on, or you could only see, it was it goes over here and over here, and she could really only see his eyes and nose.
See, and that's another thing that's so wild to me, bro. Bryan Kohberger would know that he has a very distinct nose. It has that, Wilson brother look to it. It's a bigger nose with, a broken look. Like Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson have those noses with a very prominent break looking thing in it, right? Why would you go to commit a crime and not cover up the most prominent part of your entire face? I'm sorry. He's way too book smart for that to even be a thing. Okay. It's just a lot. Thank you for the $1.99 super sticker, Ice Blue Roses. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's all she said about him.
Okay. So then once she called you, then what happened?
She just said, come over, check it out. I was like, okay, I'll be right there. Went over there immediately. I went to the bathroom, and we walked over there, and I went upstairs because she said Xana and Ethan were not waking up. And I was up there, and he grabbed me and told me that I didn't want to see it. And so I never went in there. And then the police arrived.
So you were just were you downstairs?
I went upstairs. They were all outside. I went upstairs. Hunter was in their room. And then he came out and said that he really didn't want to see it. So
In
Did
Xana's
you,
room.
so actually went in.
Yes.
So did you see anything? I mean, when you were walking in there, did you see anything that would have seemed out of the ordinary to you?
Well, they didn't do anything last night, except for the night before they threw a big party. So it was like a mess.
Okay.
But it's always a mess when they throw a party.
Yeah, remember the Friday before this happened was that formal that we've been not told the truth about the way that it was going down, or at least they weren't honest with the way that it was supposed to actually happen. The formal that got Kaylee to go there in the first place, that was where Kaylee was supposed to be Dylan's +1, because apparently the way that the sorority wouldn't have accepted Dylan and Bethany because they were no longer part of it, and it was like a sorority formal, they ended up having their own formal at the house. And some people came over, and that's the party that they're talking about. Thanks for the $2, Laura. Beth awake. I'm sorry. What does that mean? Truth and Transparency says she's has proof Beth awake. Bethany was awake. Oh, I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was. We already know that she was awake, calling her parents really early in the morning, and not just her parents. There was even an unknown number that they listed as like unknown. That she was trying to like heavily get a hold of. So yeah, no, like I think that maybe she might have like maybe been asleep. Well, actually, I don't believe that she wasn't asleep around like 3 to like 4 or whatever time. Like I feel like Bethany probably did go into some sort of snooze before like some big noise woke her up. But everything with Dylan, it doesn't make sense to me. I feel like if anything, she might have been asleep. But somebody came in, multiple people came in. There's no way that this wasn't a situation where by the time they were both awake and alert, which Dylan already was, so by the time Bethany was awake and alert, they were basically made to follow commands, if anything. Because there's no way that two people collectively raised completely differently that are experiencing something that they're both freaking out about, they're both scared, they're both not calling the cops. Like they're both collectively acting the exact same way, even though they would have been raised differently in order to have different reactions. That doesn't just happen. One person, okay, but two people collectively, and both of them are hearing scary shit go down, and they're admitting that they're hearing the scary shit go down, and nobody does anything. There's a reason, and it's not a good one. So whatever the truth is, it has to be horrible. And it has to put some sort of negative something on something important. And the university is the only thing that really makes any sense for why they are collectively protecting the fact that they lied, that they were awake, that they didn't make a phone call. And again, if they're telling Emily that they're hearing the door close, and that was their like, okay, now it's safe for me to run down to Bethany's room type deal, then why was it open the next morning? Did you make a mistake and tell your friend that and not tell the police that because the door was open and that's how they found it and that's how you wanted them to find it and that's why you didn't tell the cops about hearing it close? I just don't trust anything these people do or say. It doesn't make any sense. Thank you for the 1999 Tiff. Thank you for always presenting and going after info. You are the best. I just try to go to the truth. That's all we need is the freaking truth. Because, I mean, that's the one thing that me and Olivia Goncalves agree on. The state's not coming out here and saying anything. The state's not telling us anything. They're not giving any information. They're not answering any questions. They blatantly admit they have no working theory. They're throwing a 3-minute and 45-second time frame out there for something that they can't even prove, something that they won't even attempt to prove, because he could have easily come out on these interviews by now and been like, yeah, this is our theory. This is exactly how we think that it happened. No, he sits there and it says, no, we don't have any idea. We have no answers. And it would just not make any sense for anybody to ask anybody anything because nobody's going to understand. I'm so tired of it. Hey, Victorine, 7 months, 7 months, 7 months. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's see.
That would have been Friday night.
Yes, because it was their formals.
On Friday?
Yes. So, but Xana and Mogen and Kaylee, they're not all in the sorority, neither am I. But they hosted it for and
Okay.
like the pregame before.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing, there was a knife on the floor, right? Immediately when I walked in.
Where?
Okay, I'm glad that she's saying this again because this was in one of the reports.
Before.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing, there was a knife on the floor, right? Immediately when I walked in.
Where? So explain to me.
Which, I mean, like, that could be normal, but,
There was a knife on the floor as soon as I walked in, but yeah, that could be normal. What? In what household is a knife on the freaking floor just something that's considered normal? I'm sorry. I have so many questions about this because, like I said, this was something that was in one of the NPD reports about her interview that I was like really curious about because it was like, it was on the second floor landing. So coming up from the first floor to the second floor, like you would see it on the ground before you even got to where your foot was stepping onto the second floor is actually like, leveled area. But what we were told, see, this is where it's really confusing. So Hunter Johnson, his statement was that he went into the kitchen and grabbed a knife. So one can only assume that it would have been like one of the drawers that we saw in the kitchen that they opened. This Canadian water gives me like all kinds of burps. Okay. It would make more sense for it to have been one of the drawers where one of the knives were. But he doesn't mention anything about seeing a knife on the ground. Emily is the only one that mentions seeing a knife on the ground. So did Hunter actually like pick up a knife off the ground and is not being honest about where he grabbed it? Is he ignoring the knife on the ground? If there really was a knife on the ground whenever Emily got there, then what the hell happened between Emily seeing that knife on the ground on the top of the freaking step and the cops getting there where they don't see it, but Hunter has a knife in his hand? And who's to say that the knife that's on the ground wasn't actually the weapon that did all these crazy things? Because again, if you look through the injury list, the girls don't have injuries like from their torsos down. But both Ethan and Xana do. I feel like I'm yelling because I have these headphones on. Ethan and Xana do have like wounds on their legs, but the girls don't. So then you have to wonder, okay, so if they were really like covered up, let's just say, okay, let's just think for a second with the way that they want us to think, because even that, it doesn't work. Let's just say they were actually covered up to the point to where their legs didn't get any cuts because the person or the people were on top of them with the blanket, and that's why all their injuries are up here. Well, then how would the knife sheath have gotten underneath the comforter if they remained covered up? Because even that doesn't make sense, which is why the thing with the knife sheath is like still the number one most important thing, because we're being told so many different stories. It was partially covered. It was all the way covered. People didn't see it. People did see it. Knowing that there was a knife that just like magically disappeared, and the fact that they have to use a sheath sample at the grand jury instead of like the real sheath that they apparently found at the scene, you have to really question. You have to really question everything. Because what the hell? I'm glad that she said this again, because I was really wondering when this was going to come back out. So who moved the knife? Thank you for the gifted membership, Bryan. Congratulations to those that are getting those gifted memberships. Congratulations. Yeah, who's gonna explain where the knife went that she saw on the ground that the cops didn't see when they got there, but then again, Hunter magically had a knife in his hand and it was on the table. So what's up with that?
You walk in, you go up the stairs right here, and then it's the living room. You go down this hallway and it's Xana's room. There was a knife right there on the floor.
Like in front of their room?
In front of, just at the top of the stairs.
Top of the stairs.
Literally.
Which I don't know why there would be.
What kind of
And where
knife?
did it go?
Remember?
Like a steak knife.
Okay.
Like a steak knife, like the one that Hunter had in his hand. You know how effed up it'll be if that knife that Hunter actually did have in his hand was one of the weapons used and it was dropped by the perpetrator and he picked it up. I wonder why Dylan kept quiet about that. There's no way that Dylan didn't know that that was there. Because if whoever was in the house left before Dylan went down those stairs, wouldn't she have like walked right over it? Unless she placed it there after the fact. Because again, if she's telling Emily that she heard that door shut and it was open when the cops got there, and we know that they were awake the whole time, you literally almost have to erase everything that you've been told and just try to like figure it out in your own brain how the things that we do know, which is like the injuries, really just like the injuries, how all of that would have taken place. Because the timing that they're giving us doesn't really match up. I know that we hear sounds and stuff on the 1112, like the 1112 camera, but the noises and all the like real chaotic shit does really start before their timeline starts. And it's always, it's right after Molly pulls up. So you can really only take like the timestamps and erase everything else. Even the stuff about Kaylee screaming, someone's here. Dylan could be making all that shit up. I hate this whole case. I hate this whole case.
Can I cancel this?
Yes, go ahead. Anything else besides the house being a mess?
No, I didn't really go in further. I just saw the living room. There's
A knife on the floor.
I don't know, the solo cups were on the ground instead of on the table. Mm-hmm. Which, I don't know, they could have been knocked off by something, but...
So did you stay on scene until the officers arrived? Okay. You stay outside? Okay.
Yep.
And then you guys, I'm assuming, just came here?
Yep.
Did you make any stops in between here and there?
We went to my apartment, all of us as a group, to get sweatpants and change of clothes. Okay. For the other girls that could not go back in.
I see. Yeah.
So for Dylan and Bethany.
So, I mean, I'm assuming you've talked to folks, or who have you told that's what's going on?
So he can't. He's. I don't know. And my mother is flying back. She moved to recently, so she's flying back. I sent them a text and said, I don't know if you saw the van alert, but I'm safe with the police officers, but I didn't tell them anything. I don't think that they've seen it yet, so.
Okay. I mean, this may seem like a weird question, it may not, but who would do something like this?
I couldn't even imagine. I would say absolutely no one. Xana's the most loved person on this campus, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she says, but then Dylan's in the same clothes. So was it really only Bethany that needed pants, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, because like she looked like she had clothes on too. I don't know. I'm kind of like questioning that now, because we've seen Dylan's interview. We saw like the pants that she had on were the same. I guess I'm gonna have to go back and check the body cam to check Bethany's like bottoms that she had on versus when she walks into the room for her interview. But for sure, Dylan's in the same clothes. So that's kind of strange.
Okay. What's Xana's background? I mean, like, what is she? She on any sports teams? On the, I mean, like, what's her involvement on campus?
She did. Let's see, what is it called? For business, she's part of that group.
Mm-hmm. Like BPA kind of a deal, or?
It's. I can't remember what it's called. It's Vandal something.
Yeah, there was a remedy she put on.
Business. She's a part of that team.
You don't have to remember the name of it.
Yeah. But that's about her only involvement.
Okay. And she's a guy, correct?
She was. Me and her are both not anymore.
So has there been any amongst the four of them? Was there anyone that they were having a beef with? Was there any sort of rivalries or stalking behavior or anything that you can think of that someone even just kind of like, yeah, it's weird, I saw this guy, or had a confrontation at the bar, anything like that you can think of that they had told you?
No, we only really ever hang out with each other.
Okay. So nothing, nobody you can think of, huh? So Ethan's in. Do you know if they have anything going on with any other fraternities? Did they have did he recently break up with someone or recently get a girlfriend or anything like that?
He's been with Xana for a while now.
A long time.
No, and we consecutive like our friend group at least that we have. We're friends with all of the fraternities, so those boys get along with all of our other fraternity friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing you can think of, huh? Did you said you mentioned that they were out at the lodge party? That was after the football game, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know if they went anywhere else?
I don't know. I was sleeping. I just saw when I woke up in the middle of the night that they were still at the lodge, still at around like 1:30.
Okay.
So.
And that was all four of them, correct?
I just saw a picture or video of Xana, but that.
Okay, so there is a 1:30 video. That's the Snapchat. It was 1:30. Because we still don't have a timeline. We still don't have an exact time that Xana and Ethan got home. We don't. 3 years later, we have no idea what time Xana and Ethan actually got back to 11:22 that night. All we have is what she just said, seeing a Snapchat from 1:30 that we have not seen after all these years, that we still have not seen. Then we have Hippler stating that in the 2:10 time frame that the girls are in Kaylee's room and they're apparently discussing going out to get more food, and Dylan texts Eric Gower about if he was out driving or not, that Xana and Ethan still are not home. Then Dylan goes into her room at some point after Bethany is done, gone outside with Maddie for a minute with the Murphy, came back in, grabbed some snacks, gone down to her room. Bethany is now watching TV in her room for a little bit before falling asleep, according to her. Maddie is doing something while also trying to find Murphy. Again, we don't really know what Kaylee's doing other than going back and forth with Jack, because now we have that 17-minute call between Kaylee and Jack that we didn't know existed until recently. So Dylan, the way that she describes it is that she's like in the living room for a little while after they discuss going to get food, but then she goes into her room at some point, but she's not asleep. We know that she was looking up job application stuff on some, I don't remember whether it was Indeed or LinkedIn, but it was one of those. And then she was on social media and she added a contact to her phone at 3:51 in the morning. We know that the DoorDash gets dropped off 8 minutes later at 3:59, according to the receipts from the self-authenticating records that came from Ethan's account. But we still do not have a time that the order was made, only dropped off, and we don't know what time that they got home yet. So I don't know how we can have Gilbertson, I think is his face, the one from ISP that wears the gray suit, say stuff to us about how they have proof on Xana's phone that she was walking around getting the DoorDash or whatever. Because he does say this, he said that once in an interview. And I don't remember if it was on the news somewhere, but I feel like it was the Amazon doc. I could be wrong, but it was recent, like in a recent one that he says that. And I'm thinking, okay, you can say that, but you can't tell us what time they got home. You still haven't given us a timeline. So what time did they get home? What time did they actually make the DoorDash order? And why can y'all not produce proof of that? Or why are y'all not willing to produce proof of that? And the biggest issue with that is that Xana and Ethan's timeline has been secretive and hush-hush literally since day one. Everything about what they were doing and who was around them was kept quiet. Even up until recently, we had no idea that Dylan and Bethany... No, we knew that Bethany was there, but we had no idea that Dylan and Maddie also showed up at the Sigma Chi party at some point. We had no clue. The only person in that house that didn't go to the damn party was Kaylee. And we didn't know that until recently. And it's just insane. Because if it's just innocent stuff and it's just their timeline, Why don't we know it by now? Why are y'all not telling us the timeline? What's the problem? What will it hurt? So stupid.
That would absolutely imply that Ethan was there with her.
Okay. And you said that was around 1-ish in the
Yeah,
morning?
and I did not see or hear from Kaylee or Mogen the entire night.
Okay.
Maddie Mogen.
And you saw that video was on Snapchat?
Yeah. I can't remember who put it on their story, but...
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be nice to know.
Okay, is there anything else you can think of that you want us to know about? Want to tell us?
No.
Did I see this already? I don't think I saw this. Thank you for the 5 victory, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just can't imagine it. I don't think that there's anything
I'm with you.
that I've ever heard from them recently.
Okay, so going forward, if you want to send your folks a text real quick, let them know that we're going to be taking your phone, so that way they don't try to call you in a panic. Just let them know that Moscow PD is going to have your phone. And just so you know, we'll get it back to you as soon as we can, okay? We're just going to be looking for stuff that might give us an insight into who would have done this, okay?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, she's sending a text to her parents. Yeah, Dylan says she didn't know Ethan was there.
Okay. So I'm going to put this on airplane.
Why are we not being told what he's doing with it?
I'm going to take down your serial number too.
Okay.
Sure, if I can find one on here. Of course, yeah, but then get to it. So I'll make sure I detail this as good as I can. All right, so. Okay, let's go one case. So in the meantime, obviously you can still log on to your social media on the computer or something. Just do us a favor and obviously hold off from posting anything about this. Not that you would, but we want to try to keep the notifications that we have to make through the
Do you know who
channels.
sent out the whole message to the entire university?
Yeah.
I have no idea. That's something that campus, that's their deal, okay?
It was that Eccles guy that
so
orchestrated
that's
that.
something we're actually required by law. If there's a threat to campus, it's part of like the whole Title IX and all that stuff. We have to alert folks, so.
Have you guys contacted
Who's-
her father?
No, I don't think so. That's why we want to keep.
She must have just asked about Jeff. Jeff was the first parent to get to the police station because he showed up at the scene. I wish we had some more information on that. I saw some people actually asking a couple things earlier. I don't remember seeing any of this stuff, but apparently some people remember that Jeff was supposed to meet up with Xana for breakfast, or Xana was supposed to meet up with him and Jasmine for breakfast that morning. Because remember, he was at WSU for Parents Weekend with Jasmine, and he was at Parents Weekend at U of I with Xana the weekend before that. But he lived like in another state. He was already on his way back home when he got the vandal alert and turned around, or something like that. I think it was the vandal alert and turned around. And he got to the scene. We have a report of him getting to the scene and him saying who he was, I think with Dollinger. Him saying who he was, and then them going, and then Jasmine was already like in the area. According to the report, Jeff says that his daughter was already in the area. So then they both get to MPD. But I'm wondering if that's true. If she was supposed to meet up with them that morning and for some reason, like, she just wasn't answering the phone, so he just like was like, okay, she must have just slept in and just went to leave. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember hearing like anything about that, but a lot of people were talking about it. Like a lot of people were having the same memory of that conversation. So that would suck. Like really bad if that was the case. So I'm just curious, especially with how like hard, like obviously all the parents are going to take it hard, but Jeff, you can just like, you can see he's torn apart and he holds a lot of guilt on stuff that I really wish that he could let go of, but it's very much on his face.
He's in Pullman in town. He lives in Arizona, but it's her sister's.
Is it?
It's making it so easier.
Is it?
And they were supposed to have breakfast, so I don't know.
Holy shit, they did just say it. Holy crap. Okay.
There's a threat to campus. It's part of like the whole Title IX and all that stuff. We have to alert folks. So,
have you guys contacted her father?
No, I don't think so. That's why we want to keep
He's
people.
in Pullman in town. He lives in Arizona, but it's her sister's.
Parents weekend.
Parents weekend, so easier.
Okay.
And they were supposed to have breakfast, so I don't know. Yeah.
So I want to know more of that story then. Like, is there a bunch of missed calls on Xana's phone from Jasmine and Jeff? It's just part of the story. So I would like some clarity on that. That's crazy. That's really sad.
She's probably pretty mad that she's not answering.
Yeah. Okay. That's usually when something like this happens.
Yeah.
As soon as we get an identification on who the victim is,
Yeah.
we try to send uniformed officers to go find them and tell them. We don't do it over the phone unless it's absolutely necessary. That's one of the reasons I ask folks to just hold off posting anything, because the last thing we want is for people to find out on social media, right? Not that they should ever find out about something like this, but we want to make sure that it's done as proper as we possibly make it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I didn't remember hearing that. People that were in the comments that heard that already were talking about how they had remembered hearing that before. I had never heard that before.
So you're welcome to stay here with your friends while we interview the rest of them. Might not be a bad idea. The campus is going to have a lot of resources for you guys, okay? Use them, okay? And you can be the one that helps convince your friends. The guys generally don't take the help as much, okay? You guys all need to talk through this. And taking off the detective hat for a minute, this is something that's going to take you guys some time, okay? It's okay to go through the emotions. If you need anything, call us, okay? We can either get you in touch with resources, we can talk to you ourselves.
Yeah.
This is something that's going to take some time for people to work through, okay? So just understand that the emotions you guys are feeling it's just what human beings go through, unfortunately. And you guys should never have been put in this position. So take the resources, use it. We have a chaplain here. If you guys want a chaplain, we can get you in touch with him. He's a really, really good gentleman. He'd be more than happy to talk to you guys, okay?
Okay.
All right? So I'll walk you out, and if I just stick it out somewhere in here. You have any questions for me? Okay. In the meantime, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. It's pretty complicated. I don't even know how to pronounce it, honestly.
Let's do this. No, who's this? Who's going to get them all mixed up. So in the meantime, if you think of anything, think of any weird occurrence that happened, or honestly, it's the best thing. One of our best resources is the rumor mill, believe it or not. Okay, so if you start hearing this,
What? Y'all spent so much time creating websites to debunk all these rumors, but you're going to sit there and tell this chick on camera that that's like one of the most valuable sources, but then tell us that we're all a bunch of chaotic assholes for talking about the rumors that you're telling her are sufficient evidence? What in the bullshit? Oh my God. Okay.
same name of somebody come up, and your friends start saying, "Oh, I heard so and so may be involved or heard something else." Make sure you get a hold of us, okay? I'm going to give you just a business card here real fast. This is not my business card. I'm not a captain.
Can I just use like someone random phone to call?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And like I said, we'll try to get your phone back as quick as you can.
Can I get a burner?
This is our campus division captain. Okay, his name's Tyson. Really, really good guy. You can email him. Okay. You can call the non-emergency number. All right. I'll put my name on the back here too, just so you know who I am. If you think of anything at all, and I know, even if it's something like, oh yeah, it's kind of a weird, don't brush it off. Okay, it may be something important. So feel free to get a hold of us. Keep that with you. Okay. Is it okay if we go through your phone?
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want with it.
Okay. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. Okay. All right, I'll walk out with you.
Okay.
It's almost time for your phone tap.
Oh, that's the phone taps. Don't listen to that. Actually, do listen to that. It's called Jeffrey and Brooke in the Morning. I don't know where they're out of. I just saw them on YouTube one day, and the second aid updates keep me sane. I laugh all day long. But yeah, interesting information. So she reiterates, the most important part is that knife. The most important part is the fact that she is saying there was a knife on the floor at the top of the step that magically somehow disappeared and was not seen or reported by anybody else. Why is there why is a missing knife at a quadruple stabbing not something that they're taking more concern over? Yeah, and the thing with the breakfast with Jeff. Now, I'm not going to say this so that people think that I'm talking shit, but I'll tell you something right now. If I was supposed to meet up with my kid and she wasn't answering the damn phone, I would not have left town. I would have gone over there and found out why the hell my daughter wasn't answering the damn phone whenever she knew that we had plans to meet up. Because what's happening? And he told us, he said himself, he was already on his way, out of town and had to turn around. And there's no reason for Emily to lie about them meeting up, supposed to have been meeting up for breakfast. And that actually kind of makes sense because even though I didn't hear this breakfast thing before, I do remember somebody saying that somebody didn't show up for some appointment. I thought it was a study thing. I don't remember who it was, but I remember hearing one of them missed a study session or some shit. Yeah, breakfast was the first thing that I heard of. It was Ethan. That would make sense if it was Ethan. Because his grades were bad. So yeah, it would make sense that it was Ethan. Because I remember there being, a group session, a group study session, right? Yeah, I know. Jeff showed up at the scene. He said Jasmine was somewhere nearby, but that was after they got the vandal alert and Jeff turned around. I just don't know. Why would you leave town if you were supposed to meet up with your kid and she's not answering the phone? I would have driven the 10 miles, 10 minutes the other direction and banged on a damn door. Not to say there's anything nefarious about it, but maybe she's just maybe he just knew. See, that's why I wish we had some more clarification on the conversation, because the timestamps that him and Jasmine both give the police. Now, again, we haven't seen their interview. We just know what's in the reports. And they're telling them that the last time that they talked to Xana was on Friday night, not Saturday night. But then he goes to the sentencing and gives his impact statement, Jeff does, and tells us the exact same story that we heard in the very beginning, that he had talked to her that Saturday night, that she was home. The only thing different, though, is that at the sentencing, he's saying that Xana was telling him that she wasn't feeling well and that he had wanted to go over there. And then he's like looking right at Bryan and he's like, it would have been me and you. Because, you know, like that's like the emotion that he's in, is that if he would have just gone over there and drunk drove like Xana didn't want him to, then he would have been in that house and they would have all had a chance, is his like thinking here. But the timestamps they give the police for the last contact with Xana is on Friday night in the reports. But he says it like he really believes that that's the time, that it was really the night before. He really says it like he believes that. I just wish we had more clarification on stuff. It's just, it doesn't make it, it's already really difficult whenever it's like a couple, right? Like whenever one person takes the life of the other person and you're trying to like figure out just the timeline between the one suspect and the one victim. But whenever there's multiple victims, then we also have Dylan and Bethany, and then we have the families. It's so difficult to try to get anything in line, but the state doesn't help. And I just don't understand why the state just feels like this isn't important. Like, how much do you really care about the victims if you don't even give a shit to put their timeline together? Loose ends. Loose ends and lies, for sure. It's just too much. It's just too much. 1 second. Yeah. Even the simplest things seem impossible to track. I know. And if they really have it to where they could see like Xana moving around because of her phone activity, okay, well then show us. And if that's really the case, then why was it Ethan's phone found next to her and her phone found next to him? Unless they switched iPhone cases for shits and giggles, because, you know, younger couples do shit like that. But the gray phone was by Xana and the pink phone was by Ethan. So I'm just assuming that the damn phones were not next to the person they were supposed to be next to. But again, they could have switched cases, I guess. I don't know. There's just so many questions. Yes, he did say, just if you hear the rumors, let us know. Yeah. Yeah, poor Murphy. You could hear the desperation in his bark tone, which is insane. No, Emily does not say anything on the 911 call, I don't believe. It's another girl. It's not Josie either, because like by then there's another girl there with Bethany, and I think she's the one. Maybe. I know that it was really difficult to figure out, so I'm not going to pretend like I've actually like figured out that part like all the way, because it has been really back and forth. But we had like, I think it was Jenna. I think Jenna McClure is who it was. But they had her name maybe like twice on the record, and then Judge Hippler just kept saying unknown female, unknown neighbor, unknown female, and making it even more confusing. But we know that Dylan and Bethany were both on it at some point. We hear Hunter on it at some point. I think it was Jenna. I'd have to go back and pull the transcript up. There's only like one of them that has it all the way correct with her name on it. No, I don't believe it was another Emily. So I don't know. I don't know how we got here. The only thing I can think of is that it was a lot like what we see and have seen with Richard Allen. The more stuff that was coming out to the court, the more things that were being decided on, the more narratives that were being created, the more lies that they were having to come up with to actually tell the jury instead of just the truth. Like, I just don't understand why it's such a big deal that the FBI called MPD for the IGG tip. I don't understand why in the jury instructions, they're like, basically, no matter what you hear, you can't take anything specifically and pay any attention to any of it. Like, why can't they just be the FBI called us? It's just so ridiculous the way that they like manipulated this entire story to literally sit there and tell the jury a lie. So if you can't defend yourself, if your client isn't going to have any way to be represented then I don't really know what else you're supposed to do, I guess. Because I don't see how. Like we've heard it. Like I'm telling you now, like as aggravated as I was by the whole plea happening, I was like, okay, maybe we're going to finally get some answers. Maybe finally this damn gag order is going to get lifted and that damn dude in the damn beard is going to come out and he's going to tell a story right next to Mr. Shiny and it's finally going to all make sense. And no, they actually made it worse because they admitted they have no answers to anything. How do you get to this point and you can't even give us a definitive answer? And you sit there and say, we cannot prove that he had any direct connection with 1122 King Road or its residents. I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't answer any of those questions because none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. It's just too much. It's just too much. So again, the breakfast thing with Jeff, that was something new. And again, she is Xana's best friend. They apparently are so close that when Ethan and Xana became a couple, her mother, Emily's mother, Karen, is the first person that Xana talked to and like ran to speak to, because they're really, really close. Like they're all really close. So she would know out of anybody if Xana had an appointment or some sort of scheduling thing with her father the next morning. Like Emily would know. It's her best friend. It's just crazy. It's just all so crazy. But hearing the door shut thing, I'm going to go back in and listen just like straight through without stopping and just like take notes with it. Because her saying that they can hear the door closing is really interesting. Because it sounded like the hearing of the door closing was like Dylan's cue that she could leave her room is almost what it sounded like. It's so twisted. Okay, you guys. I'm going to get off of here. Tomorrow, I should have the video with all of the information, the FOIA letter, all the info. That'll come out tomorrow. I have a couple other things, some other updates that I'm working on. But yeah. We will probably go live tomorrow. Thursday is our normal live night. Because there's a couple other documents that we still need to go over. And instead of doing just like separate videos, since we like to do lives, we'll probably do live and go over some of the stuff. So yeah, just keep up with the notification bell so you guys know what I'm doing, because I'm a little all over the place because family life comes first and then this is second, and it just happens when it happens. It just happens when it happens. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. It's only 9:16, hour and a half. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Thank you for all of you who joined and all of the super stickers and the super chats and all the gifted memberships. Thank you so much for y'all coming in here. I'm going to add this all to the FOIAs. Now, I will say, because I get asked this, so I'm going to answer the question, and I never even talk about this stuff on a video, so I don't want to hear anything from anybody. The PayPal and the Cash App is probably the easiest and best way for the FOIA stuff because it's instant. When it comes to YouTube, super stickers, super chat, stuff like that, YouTube takes 50%. And I also get it the next month. Not to say that it won't be added to the ledger, but if you're going to spend money and you want it all to go to the FOIA fund, those other ways are the best bet. Unless you are somebody who's overseas, then Buy Me a Coffee is also available because they only take like 45 cents on a transaction, and I get it like the next Monday. So, and it all instantly goes into the exact same, like I have a YouTube account that I specifically use for nothing but YouTube stuff, and it goes on there, and I have my little buckets, and it's in there under the FOIA thing. So the PayPal and the Cash App for donations to the FOIA fund itself, I'm going to go ahead and submit the 4:30 to 5:30 tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and do that so that by the time they get done with a lot of the stuff, here's these links right here. So by the time that they get done with a lot of the stuff that they are working on now, maybe they'll already have, I mean, I kind of doubt it. I really question what other people have said because again, Gray Hughes in his video for 11/12 was like, I ordered more. Well, where? Because I'm paying for the main redactions to be done. Well, the channel is paying for the main redactions to be done, which tells me that no one else has ordered it because I'm paying for it. Like, it's having to be paid for to have the work done. It's not a duplication fee. So it seems like everyone just took the most trending information and they just like don't actually give a shit about the rest of it. Which, again, with all of the unanswered questions, I don't see how you can just not want the rest of it. But whatever, we're going to figure it out and see what's going on because I want to know who comes in and out. I want to hear sounds. I don't want to hear a narrative, a transcript. I want to hear it myself. Okay, you guys. I'm going to go edit for a little while. Y'all have a great night. Don't forget, it's already Wednesday. It's already Wednesday night. You got Thursday and Friday, and then you home free. Y'all have a super, 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 super great night. Again, thank you for being here and listening to these interviews. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me go ahead and roll this out. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. Okay, you guys. See y'all.